Welcome to Kindergarten Math Tools. In this math workshop, we will take a deep dive into what math tools, the manipulatives and the representations, we should use with our young mathematicians to impact their understanding of core mathematical concepts. We will explore why we should provide math tools for our students, what tools to provide, how and when. Whether you are an educator new to teaching kindergarten, a homeschool parent teaching your young mathematician, or an experienced kindergarten teacher, our hope is that this math workshop will provide the support and guidance for you as you teach your children mathematics. These are the 5 domain areas for mathematics for kindergarten: counting and cardinality, operations and algebraic thinking, number and operations in base 10, measurement and data, and geometry. Let's talk about why we should provide math tools for our students. We agree with this quote from Paul Halmos. The only way to learn mathematics is to do mathematics. We believe that providing math tools for students to use in math class offers a wide range of benefits, transforming abstract mathematical concepts into concrete, understandable experiences. Many math concepts like addition, subtraction, place value, algebraic equations are inherently abstract. Math tools provide a tangible way for students to see and touch these concepts, making them more concrete and easier to grasp and to remember. Providing hands-on experience helps bridge the gap between abstract mathematical ideas and real-world scenarios. Math can sometimes feel dry or intimidating. Manipulatives introduce an element of play, exploration, and interactivity, making math lessons more engaging and fun. Increased engagement often leads to a more positive attitude towards math, fostering a lifelong love of learning and reducing math anxiety. Not all students learn in the same way. Manipulatives cater to kinesthetic, hands-on, and visual learners, providing multiple pathways to understanding. They're particularly beneficial for students who struggle with traditional abstract instruction, including students who have been performing as low achievers, students with learning disabilities, and English language learners. By building a strong foundation and conceptual understanding through manipulatives, students are better prepared to tackle more complex mathematical concepts in the future, including those in algebra and beyond. Now, let's examine what math tools can provide a world of difference for a kindergartner's mathematical understanding of number and lay the foundation for future mathematical connections and concepts. We will explore what tools to provide, how, and when. When looking over the math standards for kindergartners to grasp, instructional time should focus on 2 critical areas: representing and comparing whole numbers, initially with sets of objects. Describing shapes and space. More learning time in kindergarten should be devoted to number than to any other topic. A number path is a visual representation of the counting system, where numbers are arranged sequentially in a linear fashion, typically with each number represented by a distinct space or rectangle. It's a tool used in early math education to help children learn to count, understand number relationships, and grasp the concept of one-to-one correspondence. You will want to have a number line in your kindergarten classroom. You can make it yourself with index cards or colored slips of paper. It's essential that you have it posted somewhere in your classroom where students and yourself can easily and often reference it, view it, and point to it. Some teachers like to highlight sets of 5, either by having different colored rectangles or index cards to highlight the sets of 5, like you see on the slide. Some benefits of number paths. Visual representation. Number paths use a series of numbered squares, boxes, or rectangles arranged in a line, typically starting with 1. Each space represents a single number, making it easier for young children to visualize the counting sequence. Counting model. Number paths follow a counting model, where each rectangle represents a specific number and can be counted individually. This helps children to understand that each number corresponds to a specific quantity. Sometimes teachers have large number paths that they lay out across the floor or across desks and have students use objects, placing the correct number, quantity of objects on that number. Building number relationships. Number paths help children see how numbers relate to each other in a sequence. For example, they can see that 8 comes directly after 7, making it easy to understand that 8 is one more than 7. Stepping stone to number lines. Number paths are often used as a stepping stone to number lines, which are used in later grades. They provide a more concrete way to learn about numbers before moving on to the more abstract representation of a number line, where numbers are represented as points on a line. Counters. Two-sided counters are valuable in kindergarten for developing a concrete understanding of math concepts. They aid in counting, sorting, and probability activities, while also fostering critical thinking and problem-solving skills. These manipulatives provide a hands-on approach to learning, allowing students to explore number relationships and visualize mathematical ideas. Here's a more detailed look at why they're beneficial. Concrete representation of numbers. Kindergartners can physically manipulate the counters to represent different numbers, maybe along with the number path, making the concept of quantity more tangible. They can use the counters to count, to sort, and group objects, building a foundation for more complex math concepts. Visualizing number relationships. By using the counter, students can visually represent addition and subtraction problems, helping them understand the concepts of combining and taking away. They can also explore number bonds. For example, 5 equals 3 and 2. Using the counters, developing a deeper understanding of number relationships. Developing problem-solving and critical thinking skills. Activities involving two-sided counters encourage children to explore different ways to solve problems. Think of all the different ways we can represent 5 with the two-sided counters. We could have 5 yellow and 0 red, 4 yellow and 1 red, 3 yellow and 2 red, and so on. They can use the counters to experiment with different arrangements and strategies, developing their problem-solving abilities. Supporting counting and sorting skills. Two-sided counters can be used for activities that focus on counting and sorting, reinforcing these fundamental skills. 10 frames. 10 frames offer numerous benefits for developing early number sense, particularly in early elementary education. They help children visualize numbers, understand place value, and learn about addition and subtraction in a concrete, hands-on way. Specifically, 10 frames aid in developing one-to-one correspondence. There's one spot for each counter. Subitizing, which we will look at next with dot images, and understanding number relationships within 10. The 10 frame is made up of 10 spaces. Some kindergarten teachers like to start with a 5 frame, which is simply the top row. before moving on to the 10 frame. Here's a more detailed look at the benefits. Visualizing numbers. 10 frames provide a visual representation of numbers, making it easier for children to grasp the concept of number value. They see how a number is composed of 5, that top row, and some more, or how it relates to the whole 10. Maybe I quickly can see that one of those 10 frames has 8 on it because 2 are missing. And I know that 8 and 2 make up 10. Developing number sense. Using 10 frames helps children develop a strong understanding of numbers, including number recognition, representation, comparing, and ordering. They can learn to quickly recognize quantities without counting. That's subitizing. And understand the relationship between numbers and quantities. Learning addition and subtraction. 10 frames make it easy to visualize addition and subtraction problems. Children can physically manipulate and move the counters on the frame to represent the problem and see the result. They can also explore the relationship between addition and subtraction, like seeing that 5 plus 3 equals 8, and 8 take away 3 equals 5. Understanding place value. 10 frames help children understand the concept of place value, particularly the relationship between the ones and the tens. When children are using multiple 10 frames, children can see how a group of 10 counters is equivalent to a single 10. Fostering confidence. By working with 10 frames, children gain confidence in their ability to work with numbers. They develop a visual and tactile understanding of numbers, which makes them feel confident and comfortable and capable in math. Building a strong foundation for future math skills. The skills developed through 10 frame activities, such as number sense, place value, and understanding of basic arithmetic operations, provide a strong foundation for more advanced math concepts. In essence, 10 frames are a powerful tool for teaching young learners about numbers and mathematical concepts in a fun and engaging way. You will definitely want to have 10 frames available for your kindergartners. Dot images. Using dot images to teach subitizing offers numerous benefits for students, particularly in early math education. It helps them develop a visual understanding of numbers, build foundational number sense, and improve their ability to perform mental calculations. Dot images allow students to quickly recognize quantities without needing to count individual items, which is crucial for developing strong math skills. So if I was a kindergarten teacher, I would show the image, the dot images image you see on the screen. I would show it for about 3 seconds, but making sure all students can see it. And I would ask, how many do you see? Then I would hide the image. I'm not trying to trick the students or frustrate them, but I'm trying to persuade them gently not to count the dots. So by only revealing the dots for a short time, you really need to be looking. Then I hide the image and I'm collecting data. How many did you see? How many did you see? Oh, you agree with that student? Oh, you saw the same as that student? Then I show the image again and I say, how did you see it? I might be using a white interactive board where I'm having students tell me the groups that they're seeing. They might say, oh, I saw 2 and 3 and 2. I might be circling those groups and writing the quantities, 2, 3, 2. After a while, I might start using equations. So you're saying 2 plus 3 plus 2 equals what? So, and encouraging students to see it in multiple ways. Another student might say, I saw 4 over here and I saw 3 here. So I might be recording 4 and 3. 7 equals 4 plus 3. All these different ways to decompose and compose whatever the number is. Here are some more benefits of providing dot images work with your kindergartners. Developing mental images of quantities. Dot images help students create mental representations of numbers, making it easier for them to understand values and relationships. Research shows that subitizing activities like using dot images like the one on the screen can strengthen a child's ability to visualize and manipulate numbers mentally. Enhancing number sense. Subitizing activities, including those using dot images, build a foundational understanding of numbers and number relationships. Students learn to recognize that a group of dots can be a unit, like maybe recognizing the 4 dots that we traditionally see on a dice, recognizing instantly that is 4. If I've played so many games and I've counted that 4 so many times, there's going to be a point where my brain says to me, oh, I just know that's 4. I trust that is 4. I recognize that is 4. I have counted that as 4 so many times. Now I know for sure. We want to provide those kind of experiences for our kindergartners so they know what the quantity of 3 looks like: 4, 5, 2. Students learn to recognize groups of dots as units, which supports their understanding of place value and later multiplicative thinking. Improving mental calculation skills. Quickly recognizing quantities in dot images allows students to perform mental calculations more efficiently and confidently. Subitizing helps students develop fluency in their basic operations, those basic facts, by allowing them to decompose and recompose numbers. Building part-whole awareness. By seeing numbers as combinations of smaller parts, for example, seeing 2 groups of 3 dots as 6, students develop a deeper understanding of that part-whole relationship. Fostering a stronger mathematical foundation. Subitizing is a fundamental skill in developing a solid understanding of numbers and prepares students for later math concepts. It helps students develop counting on skills and understanding of place value. Connections to real-world applications. Subitizing is a real-world skill that we use every day, such as when we recognize quantities on dice or in everyday situations. It can also help students understand patterns and relationships in larger sets of objects. Not to mention, kindergartners love to do subitizing activities. Introducing 2D and 3D shapes in kindergarten provides numerous benefits, including enhancing spatial awareness, visual literacy, language development, and foundational math skills. It also promotes problem-solving abilities and cognitive development. It helps children understand the world around them by identifying shapes in their environment and developing a sense of space. Spatial awareness. Recognizing and distinguishing between shapes, especially 2D or plain flat shapes, and 3D, three-dimensional solid shapes, helps children develop spatial reasoning, which is the ability to understand and interact with the space around them. Visual literacy. Learning about shapes improves visual perception and the ability to interpret visual information, which is crucial for early childhood development and later academic success. Language development. Describing shapes, their attributes, their properties, and their relationships to each other encourages language development and vocabulary expansion. Fundamental math skills. Shape recognition, analysis of characteristics and attributes of shapes like vertices, edges, and sides, and understanding lay the groundwork for more advanced math concepts in later grades in geometry, measurement, and volume. Problem solving. Manipulating and visualizing shapes helps children develop problem-solving skills. And as they learn to visualize, deconstruct, and reconstruct forms, real-world connections. Children can learn to identify shapes in their everyday environment, in their classroom, linking their learning to the world around them. Cognitive development. Learning about shapes promotes cognitive development, including the ability to compare, to analyze, and to create shapes, which are essential for higher level thinking. Here are the top 4 teacher comments we get from teachers on why they don't use math tools. And honestly, this is not usually from kindergarten teachers. This usually comes from upper elementary teachers. Number 1, we don't have time. 2, I don't know how and why to use them. And probably the most popular, number 3, my students can't handle it. 4, I didn't learn that way, so why should my students? Hopefully, this math workshop is helping you with the second comment, providing you with the rationale for the how and the why. We respect that you are the professional in your classroom, and it is your decision on how to provide the best instruction possible for your students. We want you to consider for comment 1, we don't have time, that your students' time spent truly understanding math concepts through the use of math tools leads to deeper understanding. Memory retention of the math concepts because they really understood the math idea. If students don't understand why they're performing certain math steps or following certain procedures, it's very likely they're going to forget what they were doing and why they were doing it, meaning that the next year they're going to need to relearn what they've forgotten. And typically they make a lot of mistakes. So our gentle response to the teachers who might make the first comment is, how can you not take the time for real learning and understanding? We encourage you to watch this math workshop again and share it with a colleague. We know that teaching is so much easier and more enjoyable when we have the support of working alongside supportive, caring colleagues who are committed to collaborating, sharing, and being in the journey of teaching along with us. For the third comment, my students can't handle it, the next slide will offer tips for successful implementation that teachers have used. For comment 4, I didn't learn that way. Why should my students? Our response is that research shows that most learners, that's adults and children, learn best through tactile, hands-on, and visual experiences, especially in mathematics, where concepts tend to be abstract. Here are tips for successful implementation of math tools from teachers. Number 1, give students time to explore every time. It's just maybe 2 minutes, 3 minutes, set a timer. Tell your students, we are about to use this object as a math tool, but first, here are your 2 minutes of explore time. It's your time to check out this tool before we use it as a math tool. You will find that students will appreciate this explore time to see what the tool feels like, looks like, and that will allow them to focus when it's math tool time. Set clear expectations. Before ever passing out a math tool, share this is how it can and cannot be used. For example, in later grades, when using geoboards and rubber bands, clearly share with students, rubber bands will not go flying across the room. If they do, share the consequence that the student will lose the opportunity that day to use the math tool and can only watch others. Students do not want that. 3, model use. This is how we will use the tool. Show and share with your students. Number 4, consider options that work best for your budget, your space, and your students. Do you want to provide math tool kits or toolboxes for each student where the items inside rotate over time and students have choice depending on the problem they're solving or the math that they're thinking about? You can have a classroom helper job to restock the math toolkits regularly. Or would it work better in your space and with your budget to have a math tools area in your classroom with math tools and plastic bins? Possibly consider having table group or individual student amounts in baggies for easy passing out, whatever works best for you and the activity and your students. Our hope is that this math workshop supported your understanding of the math tools your students will benefit having their hands on. In essence, math tools are not just supplementary aids. They are essential components of an effective mathematics education, empowering students to actively construct their own understanding of mathematical ideas. Additionally, if you are interested in more support, we invite you to join the Kindergarten Math Workshop community. This is a private community of other kindergarten educators. You will receive monthly emails of math workshops taking a deeper dive into the math standards for your grade level, as well as grade level activities, games, investigations, and support for math instruction for your students. Learn more about this at our website, themathworkshop.net. On our resources page, click on your grade level. Thank you for your time. We wish you a terrific year.